Alright, Amundo, while on the topic of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the idea in question is whether chibis or 3D models is actually the way to go. By the way, yes, it's been a bit. I don't want to just pump and dump Diamond and Pearl remake content. I wanted to wait till some fun stuff happened. What do you want to see? Top 5 things you need to realize from the trailer? Zoom in on Don's hip and ask, what does this mean? So, chibis versus 3D graphics. I've taken both sides. What I'm going to show you in this video is what you thought Diamond and Pearl remakes would have looked like in your mind. And I'll continue the chibi versus 3D model debate after this. Let me give some context. This is by some guy called Millennium Loops, and it's a video creation of what the game could look like. So take in mind, this is video. It's not game graphics, it's video. So it can be as high quality as possible. But take a look at it. The best way to look at it is it's the best of both worlds with Diamond and Pearl remakes and Pokemon Legends Arceus. Yada 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 yada, go to the statue. Explore the brilliance once more. Alright. That's not fair. That's not fair. Okay. Can we play the chibi version? That's not fair. Okay, one more time. Alright, the broadcast on TV. Briefcase opening. It reminds you of Sword and Shield. Why is there a Steelix fighting in the town? But dudes, it looks beautiful. There's the mining tunnels, Obama Snow near Snow Point. Freaking Shanks. God. Cynthia, where's the background? Your Garchomp's in purgatory. Freaking Cyrus. You should be split in half. Okay. Pretty nice. Statue reimagined. That's so good. That's it. Oh, that hits different. That hits different, man. And then the logos appear. So this is a reimagined version. There's a couple things to knock off. So obviously, this is the best of both worlds of both the new games we got. When it comes to chibis and these new graphics, the new graphics obviously look better. The Pokemon Legends graphics are obviously so much better. I'm being fair to both sides. The reason I like chibi is because it's Game Freak going back to being creative. I don't want them half-assing a story and upgrading the graphics. I want everything to be good. But if they won't do the story well, then freaking do chibi, make it a homage to how Diamond and Pearl looked, but just do the game itself better. If I could have crazy graphics as well as the good game, of course I'd want that. First off, this is Don's room. The Don model. So this is how it is in Sword and Shield, but the saturation of the colors as well as the camera being higher up instead of lower down like in Sword and Shield actually gives Diamond and Pearl like vibes. So this is done really well. So yeah, the first thing I gotta say is all the shading with the light coming in the room, it's a video program. It's obviously not gameplay recorded, so it's different. Do I think the Switch can run this? Yeah. It won't run it very well. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, one of the Pokemon was lagging because it was pushing the Switch to its limits. Probably Legends Arceus is meant to be played on the Switch Pro, whenever that comes out later this year. Can the Switch Pro run these graphics? Yeah. The Switch Pro can run what we see in this trailer. So let's go through these. So first off, we got Dawn, camera pans all around. It gives you full off Sword and Shield vibes. Briefcase opens like on Hoenn. The Pokeball's the size of his whole notebook. That notebook is like the size of your finger. What is Rowan writing? And then you got the Sword and Shield super animated vibes with the Pokemon all looking down at you. Here's Chimchar. Here's Turtwig. The way these Pokemon are colored looks like how they do in Pokemon Sword and Shield. The style the Pokemon are rendered in versus Let's Go. Here's Twin Leaf Town. I'm getting heavily jealous looking at this. When I look at these graphics, it reminds you of Breath of the Wild in the sense that it's the kind of game you just spend a couple hours each day playing and you have like a 200-hour file. But you invest a lot of your time just exploring and having fun. This is what I see here. I want to go up there. I want to find some items. We got a beauty girl and a cool kid and an Eevee trainer. So yeah, another thing is the assets in this trailer, like the trainer models and the Eevee girl and the Pokemon, are taken from Game Freak's actual assets. What the person in this trailer did is just animate it all really well together and put some good shading on it. This looks like a really nice town to walk into. To explore the town the way it looked like in your head when you're walking through it in Diamond and Pearl. This is like entering Eterna Forest, and it gives you a little pan of different Pokemon at different spots, and then it fades and you can walk into Eterna Forest. It's nice to see the Badoo chilling. Again, you get those Sword and Shield vibes, but I appreciate the vibes this time. And it's because the shading and coloring is just vibrant. Then it shows us a couple other locations: underground in the mines with Zubat, snowy place with a bomb of snow, and a roaming Shanks. Then we move on to near the windmills with Barry. This might feel odd because this is not Sword and Shield vibes, because they never zoom into a character this far in Sword and Shield from the waist up and have him facing directly towards you. That's kind of stuff, or as the Ruby and Sapphire remakes did, just to capture classic vibes. Here's Dawn in the same city. The freaking Drifloon's in the distance. The same part of the city we saw earlier with the Steelix. So that's enough of the cutscenes. Then they get on to showing you how you could imagine gameplay to look like, and this is where it gets sick. Oh, this is where it is. Oh my god, how am I gonna figure out Chibis versus these graphics, man? I'm about to convert. I didn't need this to convert me, but I'm realizing so many things, like Sword and Shield. They built up the Pokemon following you system, and it's gone. We finally got it for some places in the DLC. We thought it was slowly leading us towards Sinnoh Remix, where it's guaranteed to come back. It's gone. Oh, this is crazy. We got it. The Pokemon theoretically would have followed you for the entire game. We got Dawn being followed by Empoleon, Snovers, who are moving freaking fast. This is a cool little thing right here. It kind of gives you freaky vibes. You're alone in a mine. It's like I'm being chased by a dust noir or something. Is something chasing me in this cave? And now it's the underground mining location where you go around and you find spots to mine. Since that underground mining thing was kind of like a mini game, we could have the whole game in Sword and Shield like graphics here, but for the underground mining thing, it goes into Chibi, just for the classic feel. But at the same time, this looks really good. And then we move on to Champion Cynthia. You go through those doors and you find a cutscene with Cynthia walking up. She's got her Garchomp following behind her. And then the last thing the trailer assumes is that this seems like it's part of the cutscene of you making it to the champion room, and Cynthia walks in from the Hall of Fame doors. She walks up and the Garchomp Mega Evolves before the battle starts. And then the battle begins and you fight her Garchomp. Seems legit. I wouldn't mind a cutscene like that. I wouldn't mind a lot of things when we look at what situation we're in right now. And yeah, assuming Megas are back, I cry. I've put a lot of thought into the argument of Megas coming back or not. I don't want to say anything. I've started to realize exactly why Game Freak is doing what they're doing. Just move on. What the freak? Yo, Cyrus is looking weird. What does he want? So then we get to the cutscene with Cyrus at Spear Pillar. They actually gave us a cutscene for Diamond and Pearl, where it shows you different parts of the world and the aura extending. Here we got Cyrus unfazed. He should be ripped to pieces by Dialga and Palkia going by him. So yeah, that would be the cutscene where he summons Dialga and Palkia. In Diamond and Pearl, he doesn't summon them both. He just summons one. That's what happens in Platinum. I think it would be cool if he does summon both of them in Diamond and Pearl Remix, but one of them roams off for the post-game for you to deal with in the post-game storyline. And then the other one is in front of you and you gotta kill it and fight Cyrus. And then it shows us Dawn. This seems more like, what is this supposed to happen in the game? When you go up to Palkia, and just being near it, its aura makes you feel like you're in space. Feels more of a cutscene thing, like when you're starting the game and you don't push start yet. We got Palkia, we got Dialga roaming around, and she look like she's chilling. She doesn't look like she's out of breath like I'd assume she'd be. And Palkia looked like a rocket launcher or something. These dudes are just floating all over the place. Kind of looks stupid sometimes. And final thing in the trailer, the reimagined statue. Obviously, this is based off what they reimagined the statue to be when they showed it in February 27. I have a hard time seeing what that statue actually looks like because the shading's really weird in that trailer. But I like what's being visualized here. Like, you make it to Eterna City and the view is there. You take a couple steps forward, the trees, the statue comes into frame and you're walking up to it. I like the size. I like the whole world imagined into a huge size that you walk around in. Sure, with graphics like these, would they screw up Mount Coronet? 1,000,000%. Game Freak has zero ability to adapt places in Sun and Moon like 3D. And yes, does the chibi graphics mean Mount Coronet will be hard again? Yes. This first person view is nice. The implication of cutscenes when you enter a new place. So if I'm walking through the route and I make it to Eterna City, a cutscene plays where it pans, shows different parts, then shows this Dialga Palkia statue. When you make it to Celestic City, shows a bunch of other stuff, and then shows the inscribed wall with Dialga and Palkia, shows Cynthia's grandma's house, all these things. I like it. Oh, what could be? God, that's good. And then the logos pop up. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. God. See, the thing I noticed most on the internet is people don't realize we're in Diamond and Pearl's hype season because of how iffy the trailer was. And that's the main thing. The reason chibis are controversial, the reason we're right now, you want these graphics and you hate chibis, is because they didn't show us anything in the chibi trailer. I don't know what Game Freak's thinking. Because in Game Freak's mind, they took a risky approach with the chibis. I told you why I like the chibis. I would have loved these graphics, obviously. I like the chibis for what it means with Masuda's thought process. But I want to see the rest of Masuda's thought process. That trailer with the chibi should have had something in it to hype you up. You don't throw a chibi trailer that's controversial without giving one solid point for fans to be hyped about. One solid thing, undisputed, that fans would be like, bring me this. Something like Dialga and Palkia having new forms. Something to talk about with excitement for the games. How is it that instead of seeing this trailer and being hyped for the games, our thought process being concerned of whether these are literal one-to-one remakes that will introduce nothing new? How could that be what people are imagining right now? You're so weird sometimes, Masuda. I like you, Masuda. The chibi graphics, I have faith you'll do them right, but you dropped such a risky trailer and just told everyone to eat it up. Last thoughts. It does hurt when I see this because, one, it's the thought process that we're never gonna get this. We're not gonna get Sinnoh in 3D like this, and the more my imagination adapts to it, I'm realizing how insane. I just want to put 400 hours and just chill and play this game. Especially if it's not hard. Like, I don't even want to go to the next place and deal with Team Galactic. I just want to explore. I just want to chill. Especially if there's things to do aside from moving forward. Little quests, side things, earn money, find special Pokemon encounters available at certain times of the day. Someone in a town says, hey, do this, go to this cave, special things happen. I never move on with the plot. I'm just gonna do all these side things forever. Imagine all the stuff they hyped up, like Pokemon following you. It was in the Isle of Armor DLC, and then it was in the entire Crown Tundra DLC. All the stuff they've built up. I can't believe they went for chibis. I don't know what Masuda's thinking. I'm having my fun roasting this. I have faith Masuda will do chibis right. The Osiris cutscene and all. As much as I've sat down and thought in my mind whether Megas will come back or not, and now I'm just stupid. Whatever. I have to make another video on this when more information comes out. I'm gonna wait for hints. But I think Megas could return under a different name and a different kind of gimmick. But it's just, would you introduce a new gimmick in a freaking remake? No, they wouldn't. There is no chance there's a different gimmick in a remake. A remake is a side stone. Doesn't ever introduce the gimmick, it continues the gimmick. And this is not, I don't freaking know. Whatever, forget that aside. You let me know your thoughts on Sinnoh Reimagine like this. You don't even have to let me know your thoughts. I know all of you want this. And you're not wrong if you're thinking yourself that you dislike the chibis because they didn't show us anything in the chibi trailer. They didn't show anything. Nothing. The Sinnoh remake trailer we got here was less than the teaser for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. You got more hype out of a teaser that showed pictures, 2 pictures, versus this entire chibi trailer. Masuda, you are weird sometimes, and I'm hoping that within a few days, you're gonna drop another trailer on Diamond and Pearl remakes and show everyone why they should be excited. And if you feel bad that I roasted the chibis a bit too much, listen, they're up for pre-order on Amazon, and they're selling like crazy. People are gonna eat up the game either way, so don't worry. Pokemon's not dying, nothing bad's happening. Shank that like button, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.
This the sound of my alchemy, the greatest success for all those who fell for me. I always respect the friends who wish well for me and live until the end and die. All time will tell for me, but I ain't going anywhere, believe me.